The majority of US companies are facing a critical shortage in hiring local resources, particularly in terms of technology and particularly in terms of efficient technology resources. The same is with the case of Western European countries, where they are facing a really challenging situation in hiring local resources and reducing the cost of development. This video is all about choosing the right development method, whether you should hire dedicated resources or you should hire a fixed cost company where you are outsourcing the whole project. We are going to talk in detail about both aspects so that you can choose the right way of development for your project. Hi guys, my name is Deep and today in this video we are going to talk about dedicated resources hiring versus outsourcing a fixed cost project. We are going to talk about the benefits in both of them so that you can choose what's best for you. Okay, let's start with the benefits of offshore development center or hiring dedicated resources. Both of them almost share similar sort of pros and cons. The difference is in the quantity. If you're hiring in dedicated resources, the benefits are the amount of benefits are small versus when you're hiring an offshore development center because you have more team, the quantity increases. Apart from that, both share similar sort of criteria, both share similar sort of pros and cons in each of the aspect. The first one is shared experience. Now, when you're hiring team of dedicated resources, I'm specifically saying a team of dedicated resource, what happens is there are resources who can help each other. This happens in every part of the world, in every technology company, whether you're talking about Facebook, Google, or any company, right? If there is a large team, they can help each other. Like the artists have this creative block, developers have their coding block or logical block. Each of them can help each other to get a solution. So when you're hiring a larger team, you get shared experience to get faster outputs when they are stuck with any of the problems. Second thing is reliability. Now, when you're hiring resources from an agency or an company like Ibiixo, what happens is that you get reliability. You get reliability of the resources you have hired. You have already taken interviews of the resources. You know who the resources are. You know what the limitations are, and you know that what level of work they can do. When you hire it from an agency like Ibiixo, you get complete reliability on the dedication. You get complete monitoring on the dedication, on the resources, and how they are working. In worst case scenario, if the resource has left the company, if they are not well, we provide a replacement within 15 days of time with similar level of experience, with similar level of knowledge, and with capacity to adapt the project. So this reliability you only get with offshore development center or you are hiring a dedicated resource. Efficient development. The reason why I say is because you get the complete control on the team. You know what they are going to work today, you can change it anytime. They are completely under your control. They are your employees. You treat them the way you want. You ask them to develop the way you want, whatever you want at any point of time. Flexibility. Now, consider that you are an IT company, you are a software company, or you are an individual who have got a project from the client and you are getting it developed by someone in country like India in an agency like Ibiixo. In that case, there are 2 points. When you are hiring a dedicated resource, you get more flexibility because consider a situation that your client wants some last minute changes. Your client wants to change the flow of development. They want to change a particular module or feature. Now, when you have a fixed cost project, the things are frozen in terms of how they are going to get developed, how many resources are working on them, and how the company is going to allocate the resources. But as a B2B company, it's always good to hire dedicated resource because you get the flexibility. You want to switch a developer from one project to another. You want to change the development method. You want to charge something to the client while getting it done in a short time by the developers. Everything is possible. So in a normal case scenario, if you have a long-term project or if you are having a requirement from your client, you are a B2B agency, you need to hire or you should hire dedicated resources or set up an offshore development center with a company like Ibiixo. You have any requirements of any level of resources, get in touch with us at sales@ibiixo.com and reach us at our phone number +91 99137 96777. Stay tuned with the video. We are moving to the next part about hiring fixed cost project or outsourcing a fixed cost project. We are going to know the benefits of doing so that you can choose between the two. The first and most important thing is zero technical knowledge. You do not need to have any technical knowledge because you don't have to control the developer, right? You get complete support by the development company. You just have to share your idea. The company like us will have a business analyst who will draft the documents for you. You can just verify the documents and confirm it or suggest any changes. Once that has been done, the team is assigned based on the requirement of the project. The company controls everything. They know what level of resources are required. They know what level of resources are assigned, what level of experience is required, and how to manage them. You do not need to have any knowledge in the whole process. You just have to finalize the requirement and company will manage all the resources, complete development process. You just have to see the timeline and that's it. The second point is privacy. When I say privacy, I say it with full responsibility. When hiring resources, you need to do a complete non-disclosure agreement with every resources, right? When you're doing this within a company like Ibiixo, you are outsourcing a project at a fixed cost. You just have to do NDA with us. We by default have a non-disclosure agreement with every single employee who is working with her or every single associate who works with her pan world. So you don't have to worry about any legal formalities, any legal documentations or agreements. You just do an agreement and a NDA with us and that's it. The third point is easy management. You do not have to manage anything. When you are hiring a company like Ibiixo to get a fixed cost project done, you just have to manage the timeline. You just have to take regular updates, which by default you will get it from our PMS system. You get daily updates, you get weekly updates, you have weekly meetings with the project manager. So you will have one person to communicate with you. You do not have to do any sort of management. You get a SPOC, you get a spoke who manage everything for you. He'll be a bridge between you and the developers. What you have to do is just take the updates and see how the things are going. Now coming to cost of development. Cost of development varies between both of them based on the type of project. If you have a long-term project, you have a dedicated team, you have a provision to change the resources or assign the resources to other project, then it's always good to hire dedicated resources. Versus if you want to reduce down the cost, go for a fixed cost project because companies can manage the resources actively. They can assign a resource whenever it's required. They can assign it to other projects. They can reassign it back to your project based on the need. In that way, the cost is reduced in most of the cases. I have tried to cover points in both the areas, dedicated resource, fixed cost project. I'm sure this is going to help you to choose between both of them. In case still you can't, don't worry about that. Get in touch with us, links are in the descriptions and we are going to get a solution for you in either of the directions and choose the best method for you. Signing off from Ibiixo Studio, Deep.